So a lot of my clients are military and they all have pets and sometimes orders dictate where you can't necessarily bring your pets with you. So I wanted to share with you some options and some resources to help mitigate some of the stress of moving with pets, because that certainly does add another wrinkle to PCS moves, which are already stressful enough as they are. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Patriot Express pet flights. Now that is a government operated flight for PCS travelers, and they sometimes allow pets. I'm going to stress sometimes, because space is super limited. So this is not the sort of thing that you want to drag your feet on. The minute you get your orders, you're going to want to contact your TMO office, your transportation office, and ask about booking a dog or cat on a Patriot Express flight. So this can be a huge money saver for you. Your pet would basically board with other military families. You certainly have to meet breed restrictions. You have to meet kennel size guidelines and all that sort of thing. And there is a small fee, but certainly much less than some of the other options that I'm going to talk about in this video. So the second thing, one of the more expensive options, is there's special pet transport companies that are available to you as well. Now, these are the sorts of things where you don't want to just find somebody on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist that claims to do pet relocations. This is something that you're going to want to thoroughly vet. I've seen, I know on some of the military Facebook pages over the last few months, I've seen some horror stories from companies that have actually neglected dogs in flight, and the dogs ended up passing away. So certainly you want to do your research and thoroughly vet some of these companies. So the first thing you want to look for is to find out if they are a member of IPATA, International Pet and Animal Transportation Association. So companies that are members of IPATA, they've been vetted. They have to follow ethical rules for moving animals, and a good transportation company, they're going to handle all of your paperwork. They're going to handle all of your vaccinations, travel logistics. And that's going to take a lot of work off your plate to make sure that your pet gets from point A to point B safely. And so they'll even coordinate like multiple flights. So if you have, multiple flights to get to your final destination, or you have to clear customs, they'll take care of all of that. And obviously, because this is a super convenient option, it is definitely not going to be one of the cheaper ones. So that convenience comes at a cost. But again, do your research, IPATA, start there and find one of those companies that's been vetted and can help you out. The third thing I want to talk about is a new DoD program, which I believe started in 2024, that they will actually reimburse you for certain pet expenses related to PCS moves. So you can get up to $550 back for pet fees for a CONUS move, or up to $2,000 for an OCONUS move. So that's a huge help. So that can cover things like airline cargo costs, quarantine fees. But actually, even in 2025, the program got a little bit sweeter. If, let's say, for some reason you can't take your dog to your next duty station due to, say, like a breed restriction, the DoD may actually reimburse you to send your pet to a safe location instead. So let's say you have a family member in Wyoming and you're going to Korea from Langley Air Force Base here in Virginia. So the DoD can reimburse you to send that animal from Virginia to Wyoming, so you can go to Korea and do your short tour there, and then come back and hopefully be reunited with your pet. So this is something you're going to want to look into with your finance office when they're open, or your transportation office, and ask about the pet transportation allowance. So certainly, like any military program, certainly you're going to want to get all the information up front, and then vet that information thoroughly. Dot your I's, cross your T's, save every receipt, follow the rules to the letter. but you're going to want to make sure that that you take advantage of this to help relieve some of the financial burden from you. So the fourth thing I want to talk about. So there's actually nonprofits that specialize in pet relocation. So there's one called Dogs on Deployment. They offer financial assistance, and they even actually have some foster care networks that specifically for service members. So this might be an option, especially if you're lower ranked and money's tight. They may be able to help pay for flights for your pet or vet bills, or find you a foster home until you get back. The second one I want to talk about is Operation We Are Here. This is more of a resource for military pet programs. So it's basically a giant list of programs that offer travel discounts or grants or other types of support, but it's specific for military pets. The last one I want to talk about, and certainly there's more than just 3 nonprofits that do this type of work, but I thought this one was kind of cool. It's called Operation Roger. It is a group of truck drivers who volunteer to transport pets across country. So I thought that was pretty cool. So wanted to specifically mention that one. The key here is this: ask for help. There's tons of nonprofits out there, and so you want to make sure that you're getting all the help you can, and that your pet can either come with you and safe and getting them to you, or that they're being well taken care of if you have to leave them behind. Also, the fifth thing, so pet foster care, is something for people to look into. Sometimes for whatever reason you just can't bring your pet along, and that's terrible. But that is just kind of the nature of being in the military. You don't always get to pick where you're going. So, if there's say a long quarantine period, or a breed restriction, you're just not able to take your dog with you. Consider pet foster care through a military-friendly organization. So there's groups like Guardian Angels for Soldiers' Pets, Pact for Animals, and of course the Humane Society. So all of these programs, or all these organizations, have programs to place your pet with a caring foster family until you can come back and reunite with your pet. So so these folks that operate these programs, they understand the military lifestyle. There's no judgment. And their mission is to prevent troops from having to permanently give up their pet. So, if your aunt or your cousin can't watch your pet for a few months, these organizations are certainly worth looking into, so you don't have to permanently give up your pet. The last thing I'll talk about is making alternative travel plans. So, there's more than one way to get your pet from point A to B, but if it's too hot or it's too cold for your pets to fly in cargo, that can complicate things. But depending on your PCS time frame, but you might be able to send them on a dedicated pet cargo flight. So airlines like Delta and American have special pet travel programs where your pet flies separately with a trained handler. So you might look into that. Of course, that is a more expensive option, but it's definitely worth looking into if your other options don't pan out. The other thing, let's say you're doing a move that's under 7 hours. This is restricted to smaller pets and moves under 7 hours. So say you were going from, say Langley in Virginia to Shaw in South Carolina. That's roughly 7 hours. Amtrak will allow small pets on board. And so you would basically be traveling right along with you. So you'd be able to keep your dog or cat in a carrier right by your seat. So it's relatively inexpensive. You don't have all the drama dealing with airports. Obviously it won't get you across the country, but if you're PCSing somewhere close by, that might be an option worth looking into. So military moves with pets, they can be very stressful. And so hopefully you guys got some tips out of this. If you felt like this was worthwhile for you and you want to see more content like this, make sure that you leave a comment below, hit like, subscribe, all that great stuff. And hopefully I can help you at some point when you make your way to the Hampton Roads area, whether you're Air Force, Navy, or Army. I'd love to talk to you about making Virginia home for you.